Welcome to Algoma Family Services Community Kitchen at Home Edition. I'm Sherry. Welcome to my kitchen. Welcome to another episode of Heart Health Month. This month we've been focusing on recipes that feature vegetables, and we've been exploring and experimenting on different ways to use them to add to the variety and color and flavors and texture in your meal planning. Today we're going to be using a red cabbage and some apples, and we're going to be cooking them two ways. We'll be preparing two side dishes, one hot and one cold. The hot dish is called sweet and sour cooked red cabbage, and it may not be something that you're familiar with. In fact, you may not be familiar with using red cabbage at all in your meal preparation. I'm sure you've seen it shredded in various salads, but we're starting to see it more and more now in prepared in different ways, whether it's in slaws with creamy dressings or vinaigrette dressings, used in tacos and a lot of different salads. It's a beautiful vegetable. It has a lot of flavor, vibrant color, maintains its texture, and very versatile. It's available all year long, and it's affordable, and one cabbage like this yields a lot of food for a family. So as I said, today's recipe, hot recipe, is sweet and sour cooked red cabbage. And although it's not maybe a real familiar menu item in our community, it is a staple in the homes of European countries, Eastern European countries, and Scandinavian countries. And the recipe we're using today is just one of hundreds, maybe thousands of varieties of recipes for a sweet and sour cooked red cabbage. So we encourage you to experiment with the recipes as always and make it your own. And if you're in a family who has a grandmother who you may have called, or she called herself Baba or Babchi or Oma or Mormor or Farmor, I'll just bet she has a recipe for cooked red cabbage in her recipe collection. So do a little digging and I'll bet you'll find a family tradition if you called your grandmother one of those names. So we're going to be using apples and red cabbage today. The second recipe is going to be a cold red cabbage apple slaw. So before you get started, please take 20 seconds to wash your hands in warm water and soap. We'll be right back. Let's get started with our first recipe, the sweet and sour red cabbage and apple. It's a tangy dish and complements many meals. For this recipe, you're going to need 1/2 head of red cabbage, chopped or shredded, which is approximately 8 cups. 1 diced red onion, 1 apple, diced or grated, peel on or off, that's your choice. 2 cloves of minced garlic, 1 tablespoon of olive oil or vegetable oil, 1/2 cup of apple cider vinegar or vinegar of your choice, 1 cup of apple cider or apple juice, 1/2 cup of brown sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and 1/8 to 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. That's optional. The kitchen tools required to make the sweet and sour red cabbage and apple recipe are minimal. You don't need any fancy kitchen appliances. You'll be using a range top. You'll need a cutting board, sharp kitchen knives, a sturdy spoon, measuring spoons, and measuring cups. You'll also need a large saucepan or Dutch oven. Step 1. Wash the cabbage and apple. Remove the outer leaves of the cabbage. Carefully cut the cabbage in half, then in quarters, and remove the core. Chop or slice 2 of the quarters, approximately 1/4 inch thick. Chop the red onion and mince the garlic. Peel and chop or grate the apple. Step 2. Over medium heat, add the oil and onions to your pot. Cook for about 5 minutes until soft. Add the garlic and brown sugar and stir until the sugar dissolves. Add the apple, salt, and vinegar and stir. Add the chopped cabbage and apple juice or cider. Stir well. Step 3. Cover the pot with a lid and simmer, stirring occasionally until cabbage reaches the desired consistency. This could take anywhere from half hour to 45 minutes. Step 4. When the cabbage reaches the degree of tenderness that you like, turn off the heat. Add the cayenne pepper now if you like to add a little extra heat. This recipe is also delicious if you substitute cranberries or cranberry sauce for the apples. Serve the sweet and sour red cabbage hot or cold as a delicious side dish. Enjoy. The second dish we'll be preparing with red cabbage and apple is a red cabbage and apple slaw. The ingredients you'll need are as follows: 1/4 head of red cabbage, chopped or shredded, approximately 4 cups, 2 chopped green onions, 1 apple, diced or grated with the peel on or off, 1/2 cup of mayonnaise, 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard, 1 tablespoon of granulated sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder, and salt and pepper to taste. Step 1. Wash the cabbage and apple. Remove the outer leaves of the cabbage. Carefully cut the cabbage in half, then in quarter. Remove the core. Chop and slice the quarter cabbage approximately 1/4 inch thick, or to the size and texture you prefer. A finer shred works well if you're making a vinaigrette dressing instead of a creamy dressing, and a sharp vegetable peeler works well for that. Peel and chop or grate the apple. Chop the green onion. Step 2. Mix the dressing ingredients together well: the mayonnaise, the mustard, vinegar, sugar, and onion powder. Taste as you go and adjust the ingredients if necessary. Step 3. In a bowl large enough for mixing, mix the dressing with the cabbage and apple. Taste and add salt and pepper as needed. I hope you enjoyed this episode and you look forward to experimenting with red cabbage in your family's meal prep. You can see I still have 1/4 left of the cabbage that I used, and there was definitely 2 large recipes made with the 3/4 of the cabbage that would have easily fed a family of 6. The recipes we used are delicious side dishes for so many meals. We enjoyed our cooked red cabbage with a simple Italian sausage and roasted garlic mashed potato supper. It's delicious cold as well. It can be served almost like a relish, but it's absolutely delicious with roast pork, ham, any chicken, beef, any roast dinner. And it would be delicious with cold cuts on the side or sandwiches. And of course the slaw is just a delicious, colorful addition to any meal. And whether it's a weekday meal, it would be beautiful. I use it even on my Christmas table. So I hope that you do take advantage of these recipes and you experiment with some of these flavors and textures and colors. Until next time, stay well, stay safe, enjoy cooking. Bye for now.